السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. Brothers and sisters in faith, أهلا وسهلا بكم. It's been a long time since we've had the opportunity to have a class. I'm very happy and excited to be back. We have a new camera, alhamdulillah, and we would like to give a special thanks and gratitude to Sheikh Mussab for doing his groundwork in an effort to make this happen. If for whatever reason we go offline or something happens, do understand that this is due to the technical nature of trying a new setup. As you can see, everything is to some degree new. We ask Allah to make that a source of blessing and benefit and good deeds for all of us. And without any further ado, we're going to begin the discussion on Ayah 54 of Surah Al-Naml. تفضل يا مصعب.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولوطا إذ قال لقومه أتأتون الفاحشة وأنتم تبصرون أئنكم لتأتون الرجال شهوة من دون النساء بل أنتم قوم تجهلون فما كان جواب قومه إلا أن قالوا أخرجوا آل لوط من قريتكم إنهم أناس يتطهرون فأنجيناه وأهله إلا امرأته قدرناها من الغابرين وأمطرنا عليهم مطرا فساء مطر المنذرين.
All right, thank you, sir. طيب, let's read the English and then we'll begin with the Tafsir, inshallah. Here we go. And remember Lut when he rebuked the men of his people, do you commit that shameful deed while you can see one another? Do you really lust after men instead of women? In fact, you are only a people acting ignorantly. But his people's only response was to say, expel Lot's followers from your land, or Lut's followers from your land. They are a people who wish to remain chaste. Like that's a crime nowadays. So we delivered him and his family except his wife. We had destined her to be one of the doomed. And we poured upon them a rain of brimstone. How evil was the rain of those who had been warned. The Shaykh rahimahullah says, أي واذكر عبدنا ورسولنا لوطا ونبأه الفاضلة حين قال لقومه داعيا لهم إلى الله وناصحا. Mention our slave and our messenger Lut and his virtuous incident when he said to his people in an effort to invite them to Allah and to advise them. أتأتون الفاحشة أي الفعلة الشنعاء التي تستفحشها العقول والفطر وتستقبحها الشرائع. So what is this fahisha? What is this abhorrent act that they were engaging in? In particular, the shameful deed. The Shaykh said it is the act that is reprehensible and that is discussed, that is found or that is rejected by the intellect. Tastafhishuha, meaning it is found repulsive. There you go. It is repulsive to the intellect and to the people of sound disposition. Al-fitr, from fitra. وَتَسْتَقْبِحُهَا الشَّرَاعِ. And also all legislations deem this to be abhorrent. It's an abomination. Even in among the people of the book. This is not just an Islamic subject matter. This is not just an Islamic principle or ideology. It is shared among the people of the book. وَأَنْتُمْ تُبْصِرُونَ ذَلِكَ وَتَعْلَمُونَ قُبْحَهُ. All while you see and you know how reprehensible this is. فَعَانَدْتُمْ. But you were stubborn. وَارْتَكَبْتُمْ ذَلِكَ ظُلْمًا مِنْكُمْ وَجُرْأَةً عَلَى اللَّهِ. Yet in spite of that, you committed this act out of oppression and out of major audacity and audacious behavior on your part against Allah. ثم فسر تلك الفاحشة. Then he explained that shameful deed. فقال أئنكم لتأتون الرجال شهوة من دون النساء. أي كيف توصلتم إلى هذه الحال? How did you reach this level, this state? فصارت شهوتكم للرجال وأدبارهم محل الغائط والنجو والخبث. How is it that your desire has been directed to men and their anals, their anuses, the place of feces, filth, and dirt? وتركتم ما خلق الله لكم من النساء من المحال الطيبة التي جبلت النفوس إلى الميل إليها. And you've abandoned the women which Allah Azza wa Jalla have created for you, and the pure location which the normal souls are inclined towards, the normal behaving people, which is the woman's private. That's the compatibility that Allah Azza wa Jal made between male and female. And that's why on a very, very, very basic level, without even digging an inch deep, you could dismiss and denounce and refuse and reject homosexuality merely on the ground that biologically and physically there's no compatibility. There's no compatibility between a woman and a woman, and there's no compatibility between a man and a man, and there's no compatibility at all between those genders except a male with a female. This, from the very creation of those two genders, you already have an answer to all the great and big, gigantic questions that the world continues to ask. Whether this is morally objective or not, whether the freedom of choice and the freedom of speech and the freedom of pronouns and the freedom of self-identification, all of this dynamic discussion where people everybody is weighing in and giving you their 2 cents about what's okay, what's okay. Forget about all of that, dude. A male and a male doesn't work. A female and a female, it doesn't work. You could say, well, no, you could make it work. Yeah, you could make it work like you could make many things work. You could also have a triangle hole and you want to put a square in it. And if you break the triangular place, then the square will go in. Yeah, you could force it, but it is not normal. It is not sound. It is not natural. It is unnatural. Otherwise, you could do many things that you're not supposed to do. So to claim that you're making it work because of all these, innovations that the people have invented in their sexual lifestyle doesn't actually change the reality that in essence and naturally speaking, this is unnatural and unsound. It's just incompatible. المهم وأنتم انقلب عليكم الأمر. For you, the matter has been turned, reversed on you. The whole situation is flipped upside down for you. فاستحسنتم القبيح. So you've considered the ugly to be beautiful. Remember the clip? واستقبحتم الحسن, and you have turned that which is beautiful to, and you've treated it like it's ugly and abhorrent. Alhamdulillah. بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. The reality, to cut through the chase and to call it as it is, so you can be straightforward and clear cut, you are nothing but transgressing people. متجاوزون لحدود الله متجرئون على محارمه. You're just transgressing against the limitations of Allah, and you're audacious in engaging in the prohibitions. That's really the bottom line of it. All of this other talk is cheap. The reality is, y'all know deep down that this is wrong and that this is unnatural and abnormal and it's a sickness. But because those people have the tendency and are accustomed to the behavior of rejecting and denying the revelation and refusing to submit to Allah and being prideful and arrogant when it comes to adhering to the legislation that Allah revealed, a byproduct of that and a result of that will be everything that you see today in the LGBT world with the rest of the alphabet. فما كان here it's going to get even more entertaining. فما كان جواب قومه قبول ولا انزجار ولا تذكر ولا ادكار. The response of his people was neither acceptance nor accepting the reprimand nor being reminded or taking any action regarding it. إنما كان جوابهم المعارضة والمناقضة والتوعد لنبيهم الناصح ورسولهم الأمين بالإجلاء عن وطنه والتشريد عن بلده. Rather, their response was objection and opposing and threatening their sincere advising prophet and their trustworthy messenger by removing him and exiling him from the land, to expel him from the land and kicking him out of his own home country. فما كان جواب قومي إلا أن قالوا أخرجوا آل لوط من قريتكم فكأنه قيل ما نقمتم منهم وما ذنبهم الذي أوجب لهم الإخراج. So they said basically, take the people of Lut from your village. And it's as if someone said to them, what sin did they commit? What is this animosity that you hold towards them so that you want them to be expelled? فقالوا إنهم أناس يتطهرون. They said they are people who wish to remain chaste. أي يتنزهون عن اللواط وأدبار الذكور, meaning they want to stay away from homosexuality and from the anuses of men. I'm sorry, I have to translate verbatim. فَقَبَّحَهُمُ اللَّهِ. So may Allah Azza wa Jal make them ugly and disgrace them. Basically, قَبَّحَهُمُ اللَّهِ meaning may Allah disgrace them. I should translate this better. I'm being very literal when I say قَبَّحَهُمُ اللَّهِ from قَبِيح. But the actual meaning is may Allah disgrace them. جَعَلُوا أَفْضَلَ الْحَسَنَاتِ بِمَنْزِلَةِ أَقْبَحَ السَّيِّئَاتِ. They made the best of good deeds equivalent to the worst of sins. وَلَمْ يَكْتَفُوا بِمَعْصِيَتِهِمْ لِنَبِيهِمْ فِيمَا وَعَظُوا بِهِ. And they did not suffice themselves with the sin they were engaged in when their prophet admonished them. حَتَّى وَصَلُوا إِخْرَاجًا. Rather, they even continued until they reached the point where they wanted to expel him. وَالْبَلَاءُ مُوكَلٌ بِالْمَنْطِقِ فَهُمْ قَالُوا. And then the calamity is dependent and associated with logic. فهم قالوا, they said, أخرجوهم من قريتكم إنهم أناس يتطهرون. Take them, expel them, drive them out of your land. They are people who wish to remain chaste. ومفهوم هذا الكلام, and the meaning of this speech is وأنتم متلوثون بالخبث. And you are what's the word from you are polluted with filth والقذارة and dirt المقتضي لنزول العقوبة, which necessitates the sending down of the punishment بقريتكم, upon your village, ونجاة من خرج منها, and the safety and the victory and the safety basically of whoever is out, who manages to leave that village. So they want to take them out of their land because they are people that want to be chaste. It's as though they're saying, yeah, and we are filthy people, we deserve to stay here so that the punishment can be sent upon us. ولهذا قال تعالى, that's what Allah Azza wa Jal said, فأنجيناه وأهله إلا امرأته قدرناها من الغابرين وذلك لما جاءته الملائكة في صورة أضياف. What happened now with his wife? Because Allah said that we saved him and his people except his wife. We had destined her to be among the doomed. When the angels had come to him in the image of guests, وَسَمِعَ بِهِمْ قَوْمُهُ, and his people heard about these guests who are the angels, but they came in the form of men. فَجَاءُوا إِلَيْهِمْ يُرِيدُونَهُمْ بِالشَّرِّ. So they came to them intending evil. وَأَغْلَقَ الْبَابَ دُونَهُمْ وَاشْتَدَّ الْأَمْرَ عَلَيْهِ. And he closed the door and the matter was severe upon Lut alayhi salam. ثم أخبرتهم الملائكة عن جلية الحال. Then the angels told them about the reality of the situation. وأنهم جاءوا لاستنقاذه وإخراجه من بين أظهرهم, and that they came to save him and protect him from among his people. وأنهم يريدون إهلاكهم, and that they want to destroy them. وأن موعدهم الصبح, and that their appointment will be in the morning. وأمروه أن يسري بأهله ليلا إلا امرأته, and they commanded him to walk out and to leave at night except his wife. فإنه سيصيبها ما أصابهم, she will be afflicted with whatever will afflict them. فخرج بأهله ليلا, so he went out at night with his family. فنجوا, so they were all saved. وصبحهم العذاب, and then the punishment came upon them in the morning. فقلب الله عليهم ديارهم وجعل أعلاها أسفلها, and Allah Azza wa Jal turned upside down their land, and Allah made the upper part the lower. The upper part of their village, they become the lower. وأمطر عليهم حجارة من سجيل منضود مسومة عند ربك, and Allah Azza wa Jal sent upon them basically rocks and pebbles that were prepared with your Lord, specifically for them, targeting them. ولهذا قال هنا, that's why he said here, وأمطرنا عليهم مطرا فساء مطر المنذرين, and we poured upon them rain. How evil was the rain of those who have been warned. أي بئس المطر مطرهم, the worst rain is their rain. وبئس العذاب عذابهم, and the worst of punishment is their punishment. لأنهم أنذروا وخوفوا فلم ينزجروا ولم يرتدعوا, because they were warned and they were and fear was used to divert them from their path, but they did not take heed and they did not desist. فأحل الله بهم عقابه الشديد, so Allah Azza wa Jal afflicted them with his severe punishment. So this is the story of the people of Lut. And brothers and sisters in Islam, as you all know, today we are living an era, a time frame, whatever you want to call it, where those people have been given such authority, such dominance, such rights, such influence that is unprecedented in human history. We have never reached this low level in human history, where those individuals with this illness and sickness and filth, immersed in filth in every respect and in every sense of the word, are now the ones who dictate what our children learn, what goes into the curricula, what goes into the educational system, what goes into the law and the courts, and what goes into the what's allowed and what's not allowed to be said or to be believed. And people are being shut down or criticized for being intolerant or terrorized in order to support the rights of those individuals who are spreading mass corruption upon earth, and who any Muslim who has a little bit of iman and a little bit of common sense and a little bit of fear of Allah will know that those type of people are the last people on earth you ever want to collaborate with or cooperate with or show any compassion towards. Those are the last people on earth. If we have within our Muslim community individuals that have been afflicted with this disease, it is on us to treat them with kindness and gentleness and love. It is on us to accommodate and give them the guidance, as opposed to shun them so that they continue in their wrong ways. And even that, after you try to accommodate and guide, if they don't want guidance, at some point you have to shun them. At some point you have to close the door in their face. So even that, there's a limit. There's a limit for that. However, for the rest of the world, we are not in a position to be working with these people in any way, shape, or form. And it remains to be the most mind-boggling thing that Muslims and Muslim figures, especially in the States, are the closest people to those individuals who will turn against us in no time. Even now, they don't even have any love or compassion towards us, because we have the most severe rulings and the most explicit positions regarding the deviance of these people. We don't sugarcoat in Islam about this subject matter at all. Do we not fear the punishment of Allah? Do we not see what Allah Azza wa Jal did to them? How is it that we are working along with them for whatever the objective may be? Nothing. No masalih and mafasid. Yani you listen to Yasir Qadi, he will play games with you until you can no longer think. Using magical speech to deceive you. You know, about the political situation, and we know we have to do the ijtihad, and that he's the mujtahid of the ummah who knows best what's suitable, what's not suitable, and all he does is contradict himself regarding the issue. I'm not even going to talk about Umar Sulaiman because they are sellout. We already know that they're beyond criticism, because the whole world, even those who support him, they know that in this regard, it's clear. The confusing individual is Yasir Qadi, who every day says something that contradicts his previous statement. You don't even know what his position is at some point. Don't you fear the punishment of Allah afflicting us along with whatever Allah Azza wa Jal may send upon them? Are you people not aware of the severity of the situation? And isn't it because you gave them leeway that they've reached a point where now they're superimposing on us everything that they believe, and we've reached a point where we cannot even defend ourselves. We cannot even speak out against it. You know how insane this is? That the abnormal and the repulsive has become the norm, and rejecting it has become a disease and a sickness where people think that you got a problem. They didn't reach this point except because of you. Those Muslims who worked with them, who supported them, who gave them those grounds, now that they're on that platform, it's just going to get downhill from here onwards. So we don't have to change our religion, and we don't have to lie, and we don't have to be politically correct. Don't. Say it as it is. رَضِيَ مَنْ رَضِي وَسَخِطَ مَنْ سَخَطْ. Whoever's happy and pleased, may let him be pleased. Whoever's displeased, may he remain displeased. We're not here to alter the deen of Allah to please people. What you need to do is be careful. For your children, be careful. You send them to a public school, you're technically throwing your children away, because they cannot even speak out against them anymore. Soon, there will be no more bathrooms, gender-based bathrooms. Soon, there will be no more. Soon, everything is going to get mixed up in a big mixer, big juicer. And the end result is going to be filth. And Muslims will be among the victims of this situation. What our children will have to face, may Allah Azza wa Jal protect them. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect our children from what's coming towards them. But our responsibility today is to continue to minimize the exposure and the influence of these people upon the world. We are the last people who should stand up and resist those people until the end. Because once and if the Muslims were to stop and give in and surrender, all hell is going to break loose. They will wreak havoc on earth like you've never seen before. So do your part towards the Muslims, towards your family, towards your kids. Educate them about the severity of this particular crime in Islam. There's no room for a Muslim queer and a Muslim lesbian and a Muslim fag and a Muslim gay. There's no such thing in Islam. There's no such thing in Islam. That's like saying there's a Christian Muslim or a Muslim Christian. Khalas. There's no such thing. Allah musta'an. The next ayat are among the most beautiful. Mussab, تفضل لو سمحت.
قل الحمد لله وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى الله خير أما يشركون.
Thank you, sir. That was short and sweet. Okay. طيب. Say, O Prophet, meaning, praise be to Allah and peace be upon the servants He has chosen. Ask the disbelievers, which is better, Allah or whatever gods they associate with Him? Um, أي قل الحمد لله الذي يستحق كمال الحمد والمدح والثناء. So say Alhamdulillah, who deserves the perfection of praise and hamd, madh, and thana. Actually, they're all synonymous terms. And in English, we technically use praise for all of them: appreciation, praise, magnification. لكمال أوصافه وجميل معروفه, because of the perfection of Allah's attributes and the beauty of His bounty upon us. وهباته وعدله, and the blessings of Allah and the justice of Allah. وحكمته, and Allah's wisdom في عقوبته المكذبين وتعذيب الظالمين, and even for Allah's wisdom in punishing the beliers and tormenting the oppressors. وسلم أيضا على عباده الذين تخيرهم واصطفاهم على العالمين. And further, send salam upon the slaves that He has selected and chosen from mankind. من الأنبياء والمرسلين, from among the prophets and the messengers. وصفوة الله رب العالمين, and from the elite selection of Allah, the Lord of the worlds. وذلك لرفع ذكرهم وتنويها بقدرهم وسلامتهم من الشر والأدناس وسلامة ما قالوه في ربهم من النقائص والعيوب. And that is because of the loftiness of their remembrance, and in order to mention their status and their safety, how they were keen and precise on staying away from evil and filth, and also because of the purity and the soundness. There you go, salamatim, and the soundness of what they have said regarding their Lord, soundness against any deficiency or flaws. Allahu khayrun amma yushrikun. You know, you're supposed to do a long med for this one. وهذا استفهام قد تقرر وعرف. This is a rhetorical interrogative question that has already been established and known. أي الله الرب العظيم. What happened? The camera turned off? Huh? Okay, 1 second, brothers and sisters. Like I told you, we're trying to figure out this setup for a second. One moment. After 40 minutes, huh? It is. All right. Yeah, hello, yeah, bearded guy. It's a bid'ah, habibi, to say Jum'ah Mubarakah. There's no such thing as Jum'ah Mubarakah. Barakallah feek. It's against the Sunnah. It's a bid'ah to say Jum'ah Mubarakah. Let's go back to our lesson. Let's go back to our lesson. Allah musta'an. طيب. نعم. أي الله الرب العظيم كامل الأوصاف عظيم الألطاف خير أم الأصنام والأوثان التي عبدوها معه وهي ناقصة من كل وجه. So the question is it Allah the great Lord, the perfect in attributes and qualities, the one who's tremendously generous and kind, better, or these idols and statues that they have worshipped besides him, and those idols and statues are deficient in every respect. لا تنفع ولا تضر ولا تملك لأنفسها ولا لعابديها مثقال ذرة من الخير. It neither benefits nor does it harm, nor does it possess to itself or to its worshippers even the equivalent of an ant of good. فَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. So inevitably Allah Azza wa Jal is better than those false idols that they are associating with him. ثم ذكر تفاصيل ما به يعرف ويتعين أنه الإله المعبود. Then Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned the details through which you could identify and know that it is Allah, the one who is divine, divine and is worthy of worship. وأن عبادته هي الحق, and that worshipping him is the ultimate truth. وعبادة ما سواه هي الباطل, and worshipping anything other than him is falsehood. So Allah Azza wa Jal said, ayah number 60, Mussab.
أَمَّنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَأَنزَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ ماء فأنبتنا به حدائق ذات بهجة ما كان لكم أن تنبتوا شجرها أإله مع الله بل هم قوم يعدلون.
Okay. Or ask them, who created the heavens and the earth and sends down rain for you from the sky, by which we cause delightful gardens to grow. You could never cause their trees to grow. Was there another God besides Allah? Absolutely not. But they are a people who set up equals to Allah. أي أمن خلق السماوات وما فيها من الشمس والقمر والنجوم والملائكة والأرض وما فيها من جبال وبحار وأنهار وأشجار وغير ذلك. Who created the heavens and what it contains of the sun and the moon and the stars and the angels and the earth and what it contains of the mountains and the seas and the rivers and the trees and other than that. And I don't have to, but I will mention the latest NASA generated footage of the universe with that extremely cheap telescope. I don't know how many $10 billion, $10 billion, some crazy number like that, man. That they were able to, I think everybody has seen it. It's gone viral. Everywhere you go, you see some footage or some amazing imagery of our universe, even more than our universe. Things that absolutely puzzle the mind of the disbeliever, and they absolutely give comfort, satisfaction, and reinforcement of Iman for the already believer. The one who's never ever doubted all along that Allah Azza wa Jal is the creator of this vast universe, and that we are tiny little creatures in this huge creation, and that what science will reach is never enough, and science will never be able to answer questions that the religion of Islam had already answered 1400 years ago via a man in the desert who never went to Harvard or Yale or Oxford or any prestigious institute or university. The Prophet ﷺ, who was an unlearned man, he did not know how to read or write, received revelation that answered questions that science will never be able to answer. And now that they have this footage, if they go even some more years, more light years beyond this, and they get even greater footage, it's still not going to answer the question of why we were created and the purpose of life and matters pertaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His names and attributes. They will never be able to see Allah. They will never be able to understand, and they will never be able to give you an explanation as to why this, whatever happened. Science can only go so far. And look how much money was spent to give you an answer that mesmerizes them, and to us like, dur, la ya sheikh, you just arrived, wallah, you came late, the flight already took off and landed, and we already exited the airport and took an Uber to a park and had our picnic, and you're still trying to board the plane? Ma, we knew this all along, ya habibi. We have prophetic narrations that describe the vastness of the kursi of Allah Azza wa Jal, the footstool, versus the arsh of Allah Azza wa Jal. Wallahu akbar min kulli dhalik. And that the angels that carry the throne, the distance between the earlobe and the shoulder is a distance of 70,000 years. What are you talking about? We already know the vastness of the universe. And Allah Azza wa Jal told us, وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ, we will continue to expand. We already know from the Quran that the universe is constantly expanding. We already know that everything was created from وَخَلَقْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. We created from water every living thing. We already know. There's nothing that the science that is going to present that we don't know as Muslims already. Whether they want to use the Big Bang, فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا, Allah said that we split them open, that the heavens and the earth, they were one entity. Then we split them open. Anything that you want to discuss, we will find references to that in the Quran and in the narration of the Prophet ﷺ. How much money did they spend and how long did they take them to come to this realization? And did it answer the question, the pressing question? It still didn't. They're still disbelievers. They're still lost. They still deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't. Because the evidence is overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The evidences are overwhelming, my brothers and sisters. Wallahi, sometimes just don't go for, just look at a human male and a human female and their body parts, and then you know that this was designed. And that if they came together and had intercourse through quite a complicated process, the sperm and the egg and the ovulation process and the embryology and the growing of the embryo and how it's protected in the mother's womb all the way till the delivery, and after the pregnancy phase, the delivery, and then how this, subhanallah, are you out of your minds, yeah, humans? What else do you want, man? What randomness are you talking about, and what nonsensical scientific explanation you're going to give to this phenomena? That cannot be. I'm talking very basic stuff. I'm not even going into when you see the cells and the molecules and the stuff that is only microscopically observed, and the bacteria and microbes in this whole other world that exists, that has absolutely, there's no explanation for these things. And there's no way that they came out of nothing or out of randomness. Like, why are people still atheists? And who are they fooling? Who are you fooling? You don't have any other explanation. Why not accept the most plausible, probable explanation? It's not like you have an alternative that you offer. All you do is speculate. All you do is deny and then go into the realm of maybe, I'm not sure. It could have been this. It could have been that. Science cannot answer all the questions yet. We know, and science will never be able to answer these questions because they're simply not scientifically accessible. They cannot be scientifically proven. They are from beyond science. Allah gave humans limit. وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. You've been given only a little bit of knowledge. There's some things that you're just not going to know through your scientific research. They are divinely revealed. I invite every atheist to keep it real, man. Keep it real with yourself. Stop. Where are you going? You're going to die. You will die. And you will regret your choices. And you will know then that you were missing out. Why wait? Come on, look at the world around you. Know that there's a God, and He did not leave you unattended. He did send prophets and messengers and revelation, and He kept it preserved for you. So you cannot have an excuse that it's not accessible, it's not reachable, it's not available. It's available. The Quran is available in every language of the world, everywhere in the world, intact, preserved, protected. Come on now. I hope you make the right choice before it's too late. وَأَنزَلَ لَكُمْ أَيْ لِأَجْلِكُمْ. So He sent down for you, meaning to you, or meaning for you, مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً فَأَنبَتْنَا بِهِ حَدَائِقَ أَيْ بَسَاتِينَ. So gardens, ذات بهجة أي حسن منظر من كثرة أشجارها وتنوعها وحسن ثمارها. Those gardens are beautiful, delightful for you to look at because of the abundance of the trees and the variety within there, and also the beauty of its fruits. ما كان لكم أن تنبتوا شجرها لولا منة الله عليكم بإنزال المطر. Had not Allah sent down the rain and given you water, you would never be able to grow those vegetations and those fruits. أإله مع الله فعل هذه الأفعال حتى يعبد معه ويشرك به. Did another God? Is there another God with Allah who did these things so that He is worshipped, or that He is associated with Allah as a partner? بل هم قوم يعدلون به غيره. They are people who are equating others with Allah. ويسوون به سواه, and they're making others equal to Him. مع علمهم أنه وحده خالق العالم العلوي والسفلي ومنزل الرزق. Even though they know that Allah Azza wa Jal alone is the creator of the upper and the lower world, and the one who sends down the sustenance. Alhamdulillah, with this we conclude inshallah the dars with ayah number 60 bi'idhnillah al-aziz. Next week we'll do ayah 61. Now we will try to entertain some of your questions quickly before it's too late. I only have a few minutes, guys. What to do with grandfather who has been going to Brelwi Masjid, where Mu'adhin says the Prophet to be the light of Allah on loudspeaker before Adhan since my childhood. I have told him many times. What that the belief is covered, where it says that it's some al-hadith, go to the masjid, and thus still goes. Well, what to do? There's nothing you can do. If you advise him and he doesn't listen, khalas. Your job is to advise him and keep moving. Naam. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. When khanzab infiltrates our thoughts while praying, you should how should we spit? You spit like this, to the left. You spit to the left, and you don't actually. There's no saliva. Okay, there's no saliva. It's just the motion or the action of spitting, dry spit, if we can call it that. Tamam. And from what I know, it's either once or thrice. It's an odd number. Wallahu a'lam. Next. I have a co-worker named Paul. There are Arabs who call him Ball for some reason. They say they aren't insulting him. How to deal with this? Well, I mean, what do you mean how to deal with this? What's your business in all this? Khalas, let them deal. If he's offended, he should tell them, I'm not Ball. But you have to realize some Arabs simply cannot pronounce the P letter. So either they're playing with him and he doesn't mind, so mind your business. Or they simply cannot say Paul. I know 80% of the Arabs I know cannot say the P letter. They say, I want to pray, and after I pray, I want to drink Pepsi. And hey, Paul, come over here so we can go have a picnic together. I mean, that's just how Arabs are. If they haven't learned how to pronounce the P letter. So it depends on the intention, akhi. نعم يلا يا أخوان. How to deal with people who say Islam is not about praying, reading the Quran, but it's how to conduct yourself in society. We say that you're lying. Islam is about all of those. Islam is about behavior, it's about manners, it's about reading Quran and praying and establishing Tawheed and enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil and being kind and having good akhlaq. As Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمُ الْأَخْلَاق. I was only sent to beautify, perfect the good manners. Allah says in the Quran, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Very upon a great moral character. No issue. It's Islam is all of those. Why do you have to dissect Islam into this and not that, or that and not this? It's this and that. Next. Yalla. Have you seen the spread of shirk through movies like Avengers, where pagan false gods are shown as heroes like Thor, Odin, Hercules? Hercules. I don't watch these. I genuinely hate movies about any of these characters. Honestly, I think it's foolish to even watch Avengers or Spider-Man or Superman. I mean, yeah, Sheikh. Yani, come on now. So, of course, what do you expect when they get? Of course, you're going to have shirk and kufr all across the movies. No, I haven't seen them, and I know they exist. I'm not surprised. If I make dua and sujood in salah, but I break my wudu on the last rak'ah, will the dua still count? Yeah, of course it will still count, inshallah. Whatever was done, done. Meaning, let's say you died. Let's say you prayed 3 rak'at and you died on the 4th. Will Allah accept from you the first 3 rak'at? Yes. Now, can I follow Zad al-Mustaqna' fiqh dars from Uthman ibn Farouk? Inshallah. Inshallah. I don't see why not. He is okay in these regards. Now, I don't understand ahad ahadith. Can you please clarify? Ahad ahadith is a hadith which was narrated by a single companion. And because of that, the people of bid'ah, when they want to reject a hadith that they find to be problematic for them, they would love to investigate further and see if this hadith is an ahad. Then they use that as an excuse to reject it, because they say, I mean, come on, how could it be that only one companion narrated it? It has to be a mutawatir hadith, a hadith that has been narrated by a multiplicity of individuals through multiplicity of chains. Now, of course, this hadith or this approach is rejected, because a ahad hadith stands just as reliable and authentic as a mutawatir hadith. The fact that one companion narrated it doesn't mean anything if the chain of narration is sound. If I come late in the masjid with the jama'ah, can I say the dua al-istiftah when I join them in the standing position? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Outside of salah, I usually fold the leg opening, bottom part of pants at the ankles. So what should I do if I start praying and forgot to unfold them? By the way, هذا سرب الجميل. طيب جزاك الله خير بارك الله فيك. Wallahi Habibi, I've discussed this in the lecture. Hell equals garment. So you have a conflict now between folding your pants, which you shouldn't do in the salah, and then isbal, which is lowering your garment beneath your ankles, whether in the salah or outside. Allahu a'lam, yani from what I remember from the fatwa is that you're better off folding them even in the salah, because you don't want to be in a state of isbal at any point in time. Wallahu a'lam. But check the lecture. I think I've discussed this in the lecture there. And there's a fatwa on Islam QA. Next. How to remove a little scratch in one Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. It's small and not visible when it's not close to the eyes. And can one use a toothpaste for scratch removals? I don't know, Habibi. I don't really know how to remove a visible scratch, or I don't use toothpaste to remove them either. I mean, khalas, if it's scratched, it's scratched. Keep, buy the Watch 5 when it comes out, inshallah. Thoughts on Yasir Qadi's clarification video? Yeah, of course, I'll give you my thoughts. It's the furthest thing from clarification. Wallahi, it was doubling down on all the deviance that he's upon. I watched the video and I was astonished. How can someone call this a clarification when he's adding more confusion to the already existing confusion or confusing state? فكلام فاضي والله. Kalam fadi. I thought of making a video, but I've been busy with other things. I thought of making a video responding to this nonsense and proving that none of these were actual clarifications and that he's still persisting upon devious and misguidance. But I mean, what do you expect from Yasir Qadi nowadays? No, that's what you expect. Unless Allah Azza wa Jal guides him, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to guide him indeed. Next. If a righteous Muslim gets a heart transplant from a kafir, does this affect the state? Allahu A'lam. I don't know. Do you remember about making a Ibn Taymiyyah philosophy video? When will this come out? Wallahi, I'm guilty as charged. I haven't had the chance to work on it thoroughly, properly, the way I need to. We're going work-wise. We're launching a new devices within Samsung. I'm constantly traveling, constantly working, and this kind of project needs a lot of time. It needs a setup for me, my station here at home. It's a bunch of logistical issues, I would say, that are preventing me from working on this the way I'm supposed to. So it will remain postponed until further notice. I don't even want to commit to a date that I cannot fulfill. Now, أحبك في الله أحبك الله الذي أحببتني فيه يا أبو إسلام. What videos or channels can you recommend to reverts? I recommend المدرسة العمرية, أمعو. I recommend any work from our brother Muhammad Tim Humble, Abu Ibrahim Husnain, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Hassan, Abu Taymiyyah. Generally, those are Abu Usama al-Dhahabi, among other brothers, of course, but those are the ones that come to mind. Brother Sajid Lippim. Those are the individuals that you might find beneficial for you as a revert or even as a born Muslim. Now, next. Got a couple of minutes left, guys. Let's make this quick. Did some people of Lut believe? Yeah, some of the people of Lut believed. Now, I'm trying to remember the ayah reference. Actually, let me hold back on this. I'm trying to remember there's an ayah that mentioned that some of his qawm, along with his family. We know that ahlahu minus his wife, for sure. I'll hold back. Allahu alam. I need to double check. I need to visit that again and double check. I don't want to give you a wrong answer. Next. How to be content in life. Watch my lecture, Means of Survival. Watch my lecture, Means of Survival. It's an old lecture, but it's probably one of my favorite lectures. I hope you can still find it on YouTube. Means of Survival. It's based on a booklet, I think, by Sheikh Abdul Rahman Nasir al-Sa'di about al-Hayatu Sa'ida, or the happy life. Inshallah, you'll find it very useful, bi'idhnillah. Now, how can one learn Arabic on a personal level? Barakallahu feekum. What do you mean on a personal level? You need a teacher. If you really want to learn Arabic properly and be able to speak Arabic, you need a teacher. You're not going to be able to do much with online courses or with this books that you go over. You know, it can only take you so far. If you really want to learn Arabic, then you need to, you need to find an instructor if possible. No, ya fufus, we cannot see. The link is not showing. It's okay. They can. It's good for the algorithm. Let them search it on our YouTube channel. Means of Survival. Next. Last minute, guys. Last minute. Can we still attend? Yeah, like I said, you can still attend Uthman bin Farouk's classes, but I have some reservations, honestly. I still have some reservations regarding some things, but I don't think they're at the level right now to create a major concern. I don't like some of the people that he has either praised or did not criticize. Let's say he didn't praise them, he did not criticize them either, even though they're definitely worthy of some hardcore criticism. He didn't criticize certain people that should be criticized, and I have a problem with that. But other than that, inshallah, it's fine. Ya Wasim, Habibi, why do you want to follow the Hanbali madhab? Okay, you can learn the Hanbali madhab. You need to find a Hanbali sheikh, but don't become a blind follower of any madhab. Once you've learned that, then you need to follow whatever the Sunnah says in regards to these issues. I'm asking this in general regarding any omitted fard or added. How then would you apply sajdatul sahu? Is sajdatul sahu done in sitting regardless whether the omitted fard was in a position of standing? Whoa, 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 wait. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anything that any aspect of the salah that you miss from not the sunan or the mustahabbat. Of course, if it's a shart, then salah is invalid. If it's a rukn, then you make it up with the sujood sahu at the end. Doesn't matter which part is missed. Okay, Ismail, Jazakallah khair. I wasn't aware of that. Do share with me if you have means to reach me directly, or even email me on onewaytoparadise@gmail.com. Email me the link to where he said that the Quran is eternal. It depends on actually what he meant by the Quran is eternal. There's a lot more to it. I'm not sure about these issues with the Aqidah. But anyways, it's something that we need to be mindful of. We'll take it from there. I don't want to jump the gun and accuse someone based on speculations. It's not fair and it's not right. So we'll do proper investigation and we'll take it from there. Meanwhile, that is the end of the session. Tomorrow, bi'idhnillahi jalla jalaluhu wa taqaddasat asma'u, we'll have our Aqidah class, inshallah, without any technical issues like today. Until then, I leave you in Allah's protection. Jazakumullahu khairan. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.